Her disappearance resulted in rumors that sparked violence and arson. When Anita's parents lodged a complaint with the police, the latter said the 22-year-old had likely been lured by a Muslim man and had been converted to Islam. Angered by the police inaction, villagers lay siege to the Bantwal police station, demanding the arrest of Anita's kidnappers. Fearing the right-wing mob, the police sought a few days' time and subsequently formed a high-level investigation team. It was led by the then Circle Inspector Nanjan Gowda and then Assistant Superintendent Chandragupta, according to a report in the Indian Express. Her disappearance resulted in rumors that sparked violence and arson. When Anita's parents lodged a complaint with the police, the latter said the 22-year-old had likely been lured by a Muslim man and had been converted to Islam. Angered by the police inaction, villagers lay siege to the Bantwal police station, demanding the arrest of Anita's kidnappers. Fearing the right-wing mob, the police sought a few days' time and subsequently formed a high-level investigation team. It was led by the then Circle Inspector Nanjan Gowda and then Assistant Superintendent Chandragupta, according to a report in the Indian Express. The police looked into call records of Anita and found a number on which she would talk for long hours. The finding took the police to the residence of one Sridhar in Madikeri. What he told the police was the beginning of a point that was about to open numerous knots. Sridhar said the SIM was in his name but the number was used by his sister, Kaveri, who had been missing. It was just the beginning of an investigation that would bring curtains down on a gory story. Call trails, a long list of missing women. Kaveri Manku had been missing since March 17 the same year, 2009. The next steps were the same as in Anita's case. Kaveri's CDR records were checked, which led the officers to Pushpa Vashukota and Kasaragod. She also missing too, for the last 1 year. Her call records took the probe to Vinuta Pijana of Puttur in Karnataka, another missing woman. A long list then emerged of women who were not related to each other but yet talked for hours somehow. The effort continued and so did the trail. What police thought initially was they were about to bust a gang involved in human trafficking as it led to 20 such women. The call was made from the phone of one missing woman to another. Bodies found but not identities. The dead body of a woman, frothing at the mouth, was found in a toilet at the intercity bus stand in Hassan. The door of the toilet was locked from the inside. She was Anita, found dead in a town 160 kilometers away from her native place. This was just a day after she went missing, but the police team probing her missing case days after the recovery of her body had no clue at all. She was dressed, what looked like, in wedding attire without any jewelry. Kaveri, whose number police traced from Anita's phone, was found dead in a toilet in Mysore in the same month she disappeared, and in a town almost 200 kilometers from her place. The number of victims grew each year, 1 in 2004, 3 in 2005, 4 in 2006, 3 in 2007, 2 in 2008 and 9 in 2009, according to the report. The recoveries might look like making a link, but in reality they did not raise a bit of suspicion. There were more bodies and all of them were found in distant towns. So, whenever police published their photographs in newspapers, or put them in local mortuaries, police stations, they never reached their families. Without a claimant, the authorities would do the last rites. The postmortem revealed poison as the cause of death and the files closed by mentioning them as unnatural or suicide cases. It was spread across at least 10 police station areas. As per a report by Bangalore Mirror, blood samples of only 2 victims were sent for forensic test and both showed traces of cyanide, but it still failed to push the probe for a deeper dive. As per the Bangalore Mirror report, most of these 20 women were found dressed in wedding saris with not a single piece of jewelry on them. Also read, she prayed at temples to be rich, Twisted tale of cyanide Malika, India's first woman serial killer trail ends. Murky details come out. The police that began the case as a normal missing one, and thought of a possible human trafficking angle, now ruled out all. They knew it was bigger than that. The dumped data from Kaveri's phone was analyzed and all the CDRs showed a clever use of one victim's number to talk to another. The police intensified their operation to dig out common email numbers in use and found that all the numbers were, at some time, active in a village called Deralakate in Mangaluru. Another theory of a possible prostitution racket was brewing by then. A young boy, namely Danush, was the user. But he said that it was his uncle who gave him the phone. This uncle was a teacher at a school and was known by the name of Mohan Kumar. According to the report, the police took the help of one Sumitra in Deralakate to arrest Mohan. She informed the police that Mohan had approached her, also saying he was a plantation supervisor and offered to marry her. Mohan fell into the trap, and the police arrested one of the most ruthless serial killers in the country in October 2009. The startling truth is always bitter, painful, and terrifying, and yet, it eases the complexities. What Mohan simply told the police was not what they were used to. The mere fact that it was all one man's doing was enough to give goosebumps. Mohan admitted to killing these women, and more, 32 to be precise, though the police could only identify 20. Mohan told the police that he would spend his days at the bus stands to find his victims. He would break conversations with girls, taking clues if any of them took an interest in him. The conversation would convert into meetings and meetings into marriage proposals. Mohan would ask the girls to flee from their homes, citing various reasons of family, caste and more. The couple would go to a hotel or a lodge. Kumar promised them to get married the very next day. During the night, he would make physical relations with the girls. While en route to temples or their wedding locations, he would stop by bus stops and persuade the girls to take a contraceptive pill, which would be laced with cyanide, on the pretext of avoiding any unwanted pregnancy. He would tell them to close the doors from inside because they might feel sick. Interestingly, Mohan had the fertility cycle of his victims mapped and always made sure to execute his plan when his victims were ovulating. After sending the women to public toilets with cyanide laced morning after pills, he would calmly go back to the lodge or hotel where they put up, take the money, jewelry and flee. Everything started to connect: the long 6 years, 20 identified victims, one serial killer and his infallible plan. From Mohan to cyanide. Mohan news about the cases spread like fire and people started referring to Mohan as Cyanide Mohan. But just who was he, and how did he become Cyanide Mohan? Mohan was a teacher at a school in rural Mangaluru. He was once charged with attempt to murder when a woman claimed that he pushed her into the Netravati River. However, he maintained that it was a false claim as the woman wanted to marry him and he refused as he was already married. The woman was saved by local fishermen. Kumar was sent to jail for a month and, as per Bangalore Mirror, he met a goldsmith there. The latter told him about cyanide and how it is used to clean jewelry. According to the report, Mohan would pose as a goldsmith to buy cyanide and mix it with contraceptive pills to execute his plans. Mohan had married thrice. He divorced his first wife Mary, saying she wanted to convert him to Christianity, some media reports suggest. He then married Manjula and had 2 sons with her. Unknown to Manjula, Kumar married Sri Devi and had a son and daughter with her. While Manjula lived in Mangaluru, Devi was in Deralakate. Both were unaware of each other's existence. Kumar would manage time with both families. After the incident that landed him in jail in 2003, Kumar lost his job, but he did not tell this to any of the wives. he maintained his normal routine. This is when he spent time at bus stops and roadside areas and devised the plan. When it worked once, Kumar became unstoppable. Who is Mohan? Mohan Kumar was born on April 6, 1963, in a remote village in Karnataka. His family belonged to a scheduled caste. His parents were laborers and worked on farmlands owned by wealthy landowners in the area. Mohan had 2 brothers and a sister, and all of them were smart and did fairly well in school, according to media reports. Kumar started his career as a teacher in November 1984, at Shiradi Primary School, and subsequently worked in other school districts. From a bright student to a teacher and then to a silent psychopath, Mohan's transition is difficult to understand. Those who watched Dahad would know how the character, played by Vijay Varma, was an angel to the distraught women who were considered pain and burden in their own families. He was a liberator for them. And liberate he did, from the shackles of a life that was not fair to them. Trial and sentence. How Mohan fought the case. Mohan fought his case by himself. With utter calmness, he would go through the charge sheet and question the police and witnesses, according to reports. He was awarded the death sentence in 5 cases, and life imprisonment in 3. In 2020, he was convicted for the last of his 20 murder cases. The victim was a Kerala woman whom he killed in 2006. Though he claimed to have murdered 32, the police could verify only 20 and charged him separately in each case. The prime witness against him was a woman who had survived the bid on his life as she had only licked the cyanide-laced pill and became unconscious. Kumar is said to be lodged in Hindalga Central Jail in Belagavi, Karnataka, at present.